Before I lay me down, let's get this off my chest first. Excerpt of my life, I call it my next verse. I'm stressed, keep it in perspective, I'm an expert about this Northwest way of life, hey, it could end worse.
Welcome in, everyone. This is episode number 20. 1 second. Episode number 20 of UpLeft State of Mind, the podcast where it's okay to not be okay. This is the show that unpacks the pressure, the pain, and the process, from mental health struggles to finding your identity, the healing process, and even ways that we can grow as individuals. There's no filters, there's no fluff, just raw conversations with people who are learning how to hold everything. Excuse me. I'm your host, Rizzle, and whether you're tuned in from somewhere inside the beautiful Pacific Northwest or anywhere else, this is your safe space. It's a place to breathe. It's a place to remember it's okay to not be okay. Today's show is brought to you by Seamless Electrical Solutions. Whether it's wiring, repairs, or full electrical work, Seamless has you covered with quality done right. As a master electrician in Massachusetts, they're committed to keeping your home and business running strong. We're honored to partner with the company that values community and believes in supporting open conversations about mental health. Learn more at seamlesselectricalsolutions.com. Let's get into it. All right. So, quick self check. I'm good. I got nothing to complain about. I got nothing to not really not really feeling any kind of way about anything, except for there's this fly that just popped up right before we went live, and he's gonna bug me the whole show now. So that's cool. I'm kind of irritated about that. And bam! Oh, I missed. Anyways, all right. So yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling pretty excited about some shows I got coming up. I don't think that I mean, you guys know the deal. I'm stressed out about work pretty much all the time, but that just comes with the territory of a supervisor position. So I'm okay. You know, you take your lumps sometimes and then you just keep on going. That's kind of the way that I look at it. So yeah, not a lot else to talk about with the self check. I encourage you guys to all check in with yourself every once in a while and just see how you're doing. You maybe you never know, you may have some feelings in there that you don't know that you got, or you know you're feeling a certain kind of way but you don't know what the hell's going on. So you know, tap in with yourself, see what's up. You know, sometimes it'll help. My guest today, um I met him recently and I was blown away by his talent, his musical talent, performance wise and just lyrical ability, and um super talented musician. And brings his kid up on stage with them and raps and stuff, which I think is awesome. I'm super jealous of that. I wish my kid wasn't so anxious all the time and he would get on stage too with me sometimes. So, you know, yeah, it is what it is with that, Carter. But no, this guy's super awesome, and I can't wait to have this conversation. And so let me bring on Doughpey, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoop whoop, what's up?
How we doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Speaking of which, though, I just got my son in the studio for the first time like a week or two ago, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And so him and I have a song in the works together.
Oh, dude, yes, that's
It's
awesome.
it's already finished. I'm pretty stoked about it.
Hell yeah. That's cool. So before we get into it, why don't you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Shit. I'm dopey. Uh I make music. I got 3 kids. I had them all before I was 21. I'm now 31. I'm 31, I think.
Yep.
I am a teacher. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, um, let's see here. You're a teacher. That's interesting. I don't know if I knew that about you. What do you teach?
I teach ABA. So I'm in ABA, which is uh, it's applied behavior analytics, so it's sort of like therapy for autistic kids. So I help teach autistic kids how to vocalize their feelings and recognize their feelings, as well as do like learn how to get into like a kind of like a school schedule, or maybe like just get used to um, being in situations like public situations and stuff like that.
Dude, I had no idea. That's super awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
How long have you been into that?
I've been only been doing it for a little over 6 months now.
Okay.
But yeah, I've liked it so far. I'm currently struggling at work because they're trying to initiate a new model, but pretty much what it's doing is it's going to be restricting kids from certain things in a way that is unethical.
Mm.
So I tried to have a meeting with like the boss's boss about it, and she like laughed at me and insulted me, and this whole thing's like on the record. So she ended up having to like apologize to me. But she told me that like our client's dignity can't be observed or measured, um, which is super not true. And so
That's an interesting take for sure.
yeah, and that she was trying she's working on implementing her own concept of what dignity looks like for our clients. And so I had to fucking reach out to HR escalations who's roping in the ethics board, and I had to like be a part of an investigation, and the investigation's still ongoing. So that's super fucking stressful.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, I hope that everything kind of works out with that. So what made you want to get into people helping people? In the chat says, "What up? Hey, thanks for being here. People helping people."
Oh yeah.
What made you want to get into that?
I was really just looking for like a part-time job. I make money in all kinds of different ways, but I do pay child support to my oldest son's mom, and so that's easier if it's just taken out of a check. So I try to maintain a real job, but not
sure.
full-time because I'm always busy. So I was just looking for a part-time job, and I have experience with like I have like management experience, and I used to run my own private in-home caregiving facilities and things like that. So I think that's what got me in the door. But yeah, I don't know. I have 3 kids. I also raised my little sister and my 2 little cousins, and so I just have fucking dad energy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good at teaching people things, so I figured it would work out, and it did.
Nice. That's cool, man. So this is kind of some people, I mean, it's kind of a loaded question. Like you could go on forever, or you could just give like a little 2-word answer. But what is your history with mental health like?
It's a long, weird one for sure. I have PTSD. Um, uh, yeah. So I don't know. The first time that I ever had to go to therapy was because I went to stay. I went over to a friend's house to stay the night with that friend, and that friend had already made plans with another friend, and so I tagged along with him to this other kid's house, and I didn't know him, and we all ended up sleeping in a tent in the backyard, and I woke up. And my friend who took me along with him was just like staring at the ground, like puffing on a cigarette, which was crazy because we were in like 2nd or 3rd grade. But yeah, then I looked over and the other kid was fucking his dog. Uh, and so I went to go like run out of the tent, and they were kind of like in front of the door of the tent. And he pulled the fucking a knife off the side of his pants, which were down by his thighs, and like whipped it out at me and told me if I told anybody that he would kill me, that he would slice my throat or something like that. And like genuinely, I wouldn't have told anybody. I don't think. I really don't think I would have told anybody. But we went back to my friend's house the next day, and we were there for like less than 10 minutes. And his mom came up to me and was like, "Hey, can we talk back here real quick?" And then she was like, "Hey, what happened last night?" And I fucking told her everything. Her son had already told her everything. And then before I knew it, like they drove us over to his house to tell his parents, and his parents were really fucking weird about it. So then they called the cops. Whole thing like went under investigation. That kid ended up getting criminal charges for fucking his dog. And then, yeah, they started forcing me to go into therapy because of that.
That's, I mean, Jesus. Thank you for sharing that. I'm very sorry that fucking happened, man.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I remember going back to his house, and my friend's mom telling his mom, and his mom, this is the exact quote. She goes, "Oh, I knew the dog was acting funny." And like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck?
That's like not that's not a response that a parent should, like an
Yo,
adult should have.
yo, and this kid's fucking dad, dude, is like behind the mom, like kind of over in the corner, like not in the conversation but listening, and you could just see like the defeat on this man's face, and he just fucking like walks inside, and I don't really know what happened. That kid changed schools. That whole family moved out of the town, like,
Yeah.
but I hated him for a long fucking time, and then I don't know. Eventually, now I just feel bad for him. Like
Yeah.
if he, I think he's like a year older than me, so he would have been in like fourth grade. So wherever he learned that shit from was like a dark, weird, fucking awful, fucking experience. Probably the dad's fault.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. But like, yeah, it gets to a point where like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do it, but yeah, I started sympathizing with him. Like there had to have been something fucked with him.
Right. Um how how long did you do therapy after that?
I mean, I'm in therapy right now, but it's off and on, I guess. They had me do it for the rest of the school year, which was really tough because our school therapist, school counselor, whatever the fuck it was, she was like fresh out of college and she was so hot. Like, she was so hot, and I had just become the age where I started like thinking ladies were hot. You know what I'm saying? So already in a weird point in my life, and like I had to go talk to the hottest lady in school about this fucking dog trauma, and fucking
Oh
goddamn
my god. I mean, yeah,
really
so
fucking
like talking to anybody about that would be weird or awkward, you know? And then to like be yeah, oh my god, here's this fly. And then to be like, yeah, that's crazy. To be like attracted to, like you're just getting all these feelings and you're like, oh man. And then you're like, oh, I have to talk to this lady. And yeah.
yeah, fucking dude, that sucks so fucking bad. But then yeah, my
But
mom,
it helped ultimately, right? I mean,
yes, it ultimately did help. I got very comfortable talking to pretty women. Uh, um, fucking, but yeah, my mom's also like a fucking crazy person, so we were always in and out of some sort of system. And so from there was like family therapy, and then I was in drug and alcohol counseling by the time I was in sixth grade. And so then that's like there's like state mandatory therapy there. Um, but I was out of the system by the time I was 18, like right before I turned 18. And it took me about 10 years to get back into therapy.
yeah. Um, yeah, I totally wholeheartedly support anybody going to therapy for anything that I mean, as long as you aren't attracted, I guess, to your
Therapist,
therapist or
that's
something
true.
like that.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
therapy's good if you have a
it's
good therapist. My older sister is a therapist, and she is one of the evilest people I know. So I am very sketchy about the whole process. But if you have a good therapist, it's good.
yeah. So how old were you when you were doing like drug and alcohol classes?
Um, it was seventh grade. It was the summer between sixth and seventh grade that they started making me go. So I guess 12, 11 or
Okay.
12. But it was just weed at first. Um, and then I don't know. Yeah, I graduated drug and alcohol class the first time that I went through it. It was, I invited a friend and like two friends over. One of them was a girl. And so pretty much my plan was I was going to get the homie because I was babysitting my little sister, so I couldn't go party.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to get the homie to watch my little sister. I was going to bribe him, or I bribed him with a 6-pack of fucking Smirnoff because, we're fucking 11 or 12 or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck.
Right.
And so me and this girl could go back in my room and fucking do what fucking teenagers do. And fucking which is way more awkward than sex for sure. It was just awkward. But fucking so that happened, and then they left, and my homie got fucking drunk off those Smirnoffs because
Yeah.
he's young, and so a
Yeah.
cop pulls him over because he's all fucking
Oh
being
no.
all ridiculous, and it's all dark outside and shit, and fucking yeah. They got arrested, and then they took them back to the girl's house, and then the girl was like, well, they just walked over, the girl's parents was like, well, they just walked over to Billy's house. So then cops showed up in my house, and
Yeah.
him and I had to go to drug and alcohol classes for it.
Bummer.
And she was sober, so she stayed out of trouble. But I was also sober. I supplied the alcohol to a minor.
Yep. That's definitely frowned upon. Yeah. So
But yeah, then I started fucking around with like snorting pills. Oh, I got jaw surgery. I had a tooth that didn't come up, and then I guess got pushed down into my jawbone. So they had to saw out my jawbone and like take the tooth out of it,
oh my god.
put in like fake bone and let it dry or whatever.
Yeah.
And for that, and I was like fucking 13 at the time, they gave me a shit ton of oxys. And fucking that same girl came, and my mom made it so my friends couldn't come over because my jawbone was like this thin, and any kind of fucking tap to it would break it. My mom was like, your friends are gonna break your jaw, they're gonna think that's funny. And she was right. But so I was only allowed to hang out with like this girl, and so then she was like, oh, we should snort these pills. And then before I knew it, I was like snorting fucking anything that I could and selling stuff for drugs. And I took a bottle of my mom's like muscle relaxers, and I took them to school to sell them, and some kid was like snorting them off at the school desk during class, and I ended up getting busted, and that put me on like real probation. I had been on like fake probation a couple times before that for little things, but that put me on real probation. And from there I was on weekly UAs. And pretty much I passed all the UAs up until like almost the last one, and then I failed, so they restarted my probation. And that same thing happened 2 more times, and then they sent me to rehab. As far as they were concerned, I was only smoking weed the whole time, so they did send me to rehab just for weed. But on my end, dude, I was doing anything I could fucking get my hands on.
Yeah.
So that rehab trip really fucking saved my life for sure. But they didn't know that was the case. They thought they were just sending me there for weed.
And how old were you then?
15?
Yeah.
15. Yeah.
So then after that you were like, you were good, you stayed off pills, or
Yeah, I've never even now when I get like hurt or I get surgeries or whatever the fuck, I don't take the fucking oxys or anything. I'll take ibuprofen 800s and fucking smoke a blunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really fuck with any of that anymore. I like psychedelics a lot, but you won't catch me doing any other drugs.
Yeah. Do you have any outlets that you use when stuff gets tough or anything? I mean, we all kind of go through shit and have our own ways of dealing with stuff.
I don't know. It's real tough. Like constantly I mean, I haven't been diagnosed with depression, but I am pretty consistently suicidal, even if like the suicidal thoughts are like abstract, kind of like I don't want to kill myself, but it would be really neat if a plane crashed into me right now, kind of thing. And so when things get really, really fucking hard, shit actually gets pretty crazy scary for me. I do try to like keep myself busy, but even then I start looping back into like whatever's really fucking me up. And yeah, I don't know. It bounces between like writing and binge watching like sitcoms. But I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. Like shit gets real fucking scary sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just so you know, like I'm always here. I'm always available. Hit me up, shoot me a message, shoot me a text, call, video, like whatever, if you need to reach out to somebody. So
Hell yeah.
I usually ask people just about a rock bottom moment. We all have some. I've had many. And it's not to stir shit up or, you know, anything, relive stuff, but just so that we can set the stage to maybe be helpful to somebody that's going through the same thing, or maybe we'll face something similar in the future.
For sure. I think about this a lot. I feel like I have several rock bottom, or I feel like I have a good solid 3 rock bottom moments, but even like my personal rock bottom moments, they don't really like compare to my childhood. I like grew up with a crazy mom in homeless shelters. She's drug addicted. We lived in cars. She's abusive, like things like that. And like through navigating that as a child, I found some really good friends and we have a really strong bond. And they got my back through all kinds of shit. So now, even when if like right now, if I was homeless, like if I lost everything, I would still not really be homeless. I would go over to the homie's house where I actually have my own room. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would be sad, but like I have a fucking room somewhere all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so
Yeah.
weird to think about that being a rock bottom. But when I was let's see, 19. Me and my lady at the time, we'd been together for about 5 years. We had a son together who was almost a year old. He wasn't quite a year old yet. Um, we were living in Oregon when he was born, and his mom was all really sad and like missing her family. And I don't really have attachments to my family, and so I was like, oh yeah, we can move to California together where her family was, and we can just rock shit out there. And so we got there, and she introduced me to this one dude as her cousin. And then like they were spending a lot of time together. And then I came home from work on Christmas Eve, and she kicked me out so that she could be with him, because I guess it wasn't actually her cousin. It was just her aunt's best friend's son or something like that.
Yeah.
And this was right after I got my California ID so that I can get a job in California. I'd only been working there for like a month and a half. And I guess when I got a California ID, that made it so that my son became a California citizen. And so then I had a choice between like being homeless and being able to visit my son, or like coming back to Oregon and getting my shit together. And that was a really tough decision. I didn't really have any help getting back to Oregon, so I ended up being homeless in Oildale, California for about 5 months. Um, like no food, no fucking money, no fucking clean clothes, fucking nowhere to sleep. When I did have a place to sleep, it was like at this house that should have been condemned. It was filled with like dog shit and cockroaches. Um, And then yeah, one day my aunt, who I hadn't talked to in years, hit me up and asked me how I was, and I let her know what was going on, and she bought me a train ticket home, and then I took it immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say being homeless in Oildale, California was probably one of the hardest, especially while dealing with a relationship of 5 years just crumbling in front of you because you put your whole life to the side so that she could be happy.
Yeah. So when you got back to Oregon, what was the first thing that you like focused on?
Fucking bitches, if I'm being honest.
He smiled. I knew it was going to be something.
I'm not even gonna front, dude. Like, I know I should have came back and immediately been like, job, whatever the fuck. But like, yo, I came back, I got a hot meal and a shower, and I was like, I hit up every girl that I had ever rejected for while
Yeah.
I was in that
Yeah.
relationship. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because there was a lot of that. Yeah, I was super loyal to her and fucking yeah, I hit up every girl and I was fucking juggling all fucking a bunch of them like throughout the day, just going from like
Yeah.
one house to another, just being crazy. And then there was only like a month of that before I was like, all right, we gotta fucking
I was gonna say, like, we laughed about it when you said it, but like, I mean, it's a realistic thing to blow off some steam in one way or another when
yeah.
something traumatic like that happens to you. And I mean, yeah, it's that's you know,
But yeah, from there I started taking care of my great uncle Tony. He had MS. He was in his 80s at the time, like late 80s at the time. And I helped run a private in-home caregiving facility for him. And I got like that experience, and I kind of stayed in that field, and I was making a bunch of money and doing pretty good for myself. And then around that same kind of time too, I met the mother of my other two children, and her and I got in a relationship. And so before I knew it, we had our own place with like extra funds and two cars and like just a happy little fucking family and all
yeah,
kinds of cool shit. And yeah, there were moments where like it was really tough because um I got my shit together, and the way that we decided to do it was that because my son wasn't in school yet, uh, I would just pay for the travel and we would
hmm
switch off every 3 months. And so that's kind of how we did it, like three
yeah,
months at a time.
yeah,
And fucking, then, and that worked out. But then school came around, and the state of California made it so that we had to, or had a custody hearing. I don't know. We had to have a custody hearing, and they decided that he would live with her, which is fucking insane. Um, and then fucking from there, I was really fucking defeated. But now he comes here on the summer, and the summers and on winter vacation and stuff like that. So
cool, cool. How old is he now?
13.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
Is that that's not the one that was that like gets up on stage with you and stuff? No.
Nah, that's my middle child. He's 11.
Okay. Bad little badass.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
stoked to hear that song, man.
yeah, I'm super proud of him. Yeah, it was cool. Well, he's I told him that I would keep hooking him up with dope opportunities as long as he's writing every day, because that's
hmm
really what's important, is like crafting the skill.
Yeah.
Um but he like automatically jumped into writing songs, and I'm probably just projecting, but from my end, like I was writing rhymes for years before I wrote a song to like a
Right.
beat, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just writing down ideas and having ideas and like getting inspired by whatever the fuck and writing it down. And so like um I was trying to like just hammer that idea in, but he kept like finding beats and just like writing to beats or whatever. And so, so then he's like obsessing on structure, and he's like, hey, where does the hook go into this? And where does the hook go into this? And I'm like, bro, you shouldn't even be doing that yet. And so then I was like, and then I smoked a little bit of weed, and I was sitting there and I was like, man, he's different from me. Like we're gonna have different like learning things. If he wants to write to a beat, then I should help provide like the structure for that. So then I was like, all right, we're gonna do a song together. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking write a hook, show you where the verses go. You write a verse for that. I'll write my verse.
Nice.
We'll come up with a bridge together. It'll be sweet. And so yeah, we did that. Um, yeah, I asked him what his favorite song by me is, and it's one of my Thanksgiving songs. And so, yeah, we made a song called Shanksgiving that's about stabbing and eating people.
I love it, dude. I love it so much. That's amazing. Um so what we talked about the trauma. We talked about I like to kind of bring it full circle. Uh let's talk about some of the positive things that happened after that? Actually, I want to talk about how you got into music.
Whew.
Because that's such a niche creative outlet, you know, and I really am curious that because people get into it, but in so many different reasons or different ways.
For sure. Just 1 second.
Oh, you're good, dude. This fly is driving me crazy. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? If you guys are over on Facebook and you have not gone to YouTube and hit that sub button yet, make sure you guys do that. It does a lot for the channel. Appreciate you guys all being here.
There's not well, okay. I actually just stumbled upon this memory a couple days ago. I started writing in kindergarten, and I don't think I ever stopped. But the first thing that I ever wrote was like a story about, like, I don't know. I was in an advanced reading class. So I was in this class with like first graders read in their reading class. And I sat down next to this kid who was like doodling these monsters. And I was like, yo, those are actually really cool. They look really cool. And he was like, yeah, man, this one's this one. And he had like character, like he had like names for them and like backstories and stuff, but they were all just kind of like in his head. And so then like we had it was like a reading writing class, and so then we had like a thing where like we had to write a story, and so I used his monsters as like a construct for this story, and I wrote this whole thing out and I showed it to him, and he was like, yo, this is awesome. Like we became friends and shit. And like I just like never stopped writing. And I don't know, I don't think I started writing raps until like third or fourth grade. Although I grew up in a very like my mom and grandpa and dad, they like all listened to like fucking, I don't know, Eminem, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, fucking Tupac, Two Live Crew, fucking Public Enemy, fucking just like anything with a fuck you message.
Right.
They they listen to.
Yeah.
And so yeah, somewhere around like I want to say like third grade 8 Mile came out.
Okay.
And then so then it was just became like kids would be like freestyling on the playground. And so then I like threw my hat in that ring, and I realized that I was pretty good at improvising rhymes.
Okay.
And so I was like, this is pretty sweet. And so then I started writing raps, and I realized that I was pretty good at that too. But I was still writing stories at the time and all kinds of other stuff. Anyways, I realized around like probably like fifth grade that school wasn't for me, and that if I was good at music, I wouldn't have to do school, or at least that was the thought process. So then I really buckled down on it, on like the writing aspect of it. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's always been writing, something that I've always done. And then I do music because I didn't want to do school.
Okay. That's awesome. You made me think of, so when I was in, I want to say kindergarten or first grade, I had the same thing. I had a stack of, I think it was either a stack of white paper or it was like a spiral notebook with just white paper, no lines on it. And I had probably 20 different alien or monster like creatures, and they all had names and shit just like that. And I wrote a little story, like a picture book, and like I got it actually published in the fucking in the library of my elementary school.
Hell yeah.
They like laminated the pages and like put my story like on the shelf in there, and it just made me think. That's funny that you said that, because it made me. I was like, dude, me too, bro. I was
Hell
that
yeah.
kid that you know, like that you met in school with the
Yeah.
pictures.
Fuck
Uh,
yeah, dude.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
That shit's dope. And
Yeah,
I don't know if I was writing before that, but like I do remember feeling super inspired by that dude's monsters.
yeah, that's awesome. So when did you start performing?
Um so yeah, so I was so I was super into writing and trying to make my own music. But then I was 15 and addicted to drugs. And then I was 16 and in like a committed relationship. And then I was fucking 18 and I had a baby come in. And then around the time that my son was when my son was like a newborn, I was just chilling around the house all day. And he was actually like a really good baby. He fucking like never cried. He was always happy. Um, and so like I had a lot of free time. And so
Yeah.
then I started working on like using beats and recording music. Um, and I made a little demo called Life in the Attic. Uh, and I showed it to my cousin who used to host this festival called the Hebo Mountain Hooligan Fest.
Okay.
And so he booked me out there. I want to say that was 2017, 2016. And so my first performance, I want to say it was like 9 years ago.
Okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Man. And so you never look back. I mean, because I see you perform and you're so natural up there, you know?
So I mean, I did the Hooligan Fest, and then I was like, okay, I want to perform more. I really liked that. So then I met John Nelson, and he was doing.
Shout out to Poverty's poster boy.
Shout out to Poverty.
King of the mic himself.
Yeah.
He rolls his eyes. I'm clipping that shit.
Fucking that's why I didn't do it, by the way. It's a whole other thing. That's an off-camera conversation. But we talked about it on 17.
We talked about it.
So then John got me on a show at the Triangle, and I was like, oh fuck, I love this shit. So then I started reaching out to other promoters, and before I knew it,
throwback.
Yeah, right. Then I started talking to other promoters in like Portland and stuff, and before I knew it, I was doing shows at the fucking Paris Theater in Portland.
Okay.
It's now shut down, but I was doing shows at the Paris Theater like twice a month for like 2 years.
Nice.
And just like really like growing like that Portland scene and making connections and like, you know, helping bring shows in and like kind of getting used to that whole thing. But then COVID happened, and that really put a fucking stick in my spokes.
Dude, COVID. I had so many shows scheduled that spring and summer, and it just screwed up everything. God damn COVID.
And then it was like, and then the Paris shut down, and those were the only connections that I had made while I was popping. Because I was like, oh, this is my place. This is where like I like to be.
Yeah.
And then once my place was gone, like literally that's what it felt like. Like I had no place anymore. And I'm still trying to find that. Like I see shows going on all the time that I feel like I should be on. And I'm like, how the fuck did I miss this? Like back in the day, I would have been fucking nose deep in the grind. But it seems all scattered now, less like promotional, like actual people, and more like independent people hosting their own shows.
Yes, very much so.
So it's harder to get into that grind unless you know the independent person.
Yep. What does performing do for you mentally? Because for me, it's such a fucking high. Like if I have a good show, like last weekend, we had a super dope performance at the Pink Elephant in Salem, and then dude, I was up to like 4. I was just wired, you know, and I just felt top of the world all night.
It feels like every single moment of my life has led up to that, and I am in that moment executing all of the grind and the skill and the pain and the fucking all of the things. And at the same time, because of the way that I do things and the way that I like to do things, like I make people laugh when I perform too.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yo, if I could just get one person to really crack, that shit fucking feels great, dude.
Yep. Yep.
Especially if like the song before was kind of serious and they were nodding their head and they're like, damn, this dude's fucking getting it. And then the next song makes them crack. I'm like, oh, I love that shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, it feels perfect. It feels like everything that's happened in life happened for a reason and led me to that.
That's such a dope answer. I love that. Um, what has been your talking about shows? What has been probably your proudest or biggest? I don't know, not biggest, proudest. Proudest was the right word. Your proudest performance, proudest show that you've been a part of. Let's say.
That's tough because like so I opened for Twisted at the Roseland. Oh no, I'm sorry, at the Hawthorne.
Hell yeah.
And like there was like 300 people there, and like that's probably like the biggest crowd that I've ever performed to. And like it was the first time that I ever did Every Time We Fuck live, and it got amazing reception. People fucking loved that shit. And so like that felt really great. But this one time I was opening for Razakel, which is like a horrorcore artist,
Okay.
and I fucking I stole the fucking show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fucking rocked that shit so perfectly that everyone who went to that show followed me outside after my set and was like fucking trying to chop it up with me and get a picture with me and pick my brain on things.
Yeah.
And fucking that the person who went next didn't have any fucking anybody watching them. And like, that's a shitty feeling for them, but like it felt pretty great for me. And then like the tour manager like sat me down and like talked to me, and we were discussing like tour opportunities and things like that. And so like that led me to doing like shows outside of Oregon and stuff like
Yep.
that. And so like I'm mostly proud of my performance. Like I'm most proud of that performance because it not only like I saw it captivate everybody at the venue, but it opened up, like my skills alone opened up opportunities for me to do other shows outside of home.
Yep.
Um,
Hell yeah.
but COVID fucked that too. And not just COVID, I was also young and cocky, and I ended up talking shit to the wrong person. And that wrong person ended up being one of the headliners that I was opening for's boyfriend. And so then I got kicked off that tour and they won't work with me anymore. I
Mm.
didn't know that that's who I was talking shit to, but shouldn't have been
He,
talking shit.
he said I would have had respect if I knew who I was talking to.
Yeah, something like that.
What about the gathering? What's it like performing at the gatherings? Is that the first time you performed there, or have you done it before?
Uh, yeah, yes, first time that I performed there. I mean, I wasn't like scheduled. I just
Right.
found open slots on stages and things
It's
like
still
that.
dope as fuck.
Um,
Like,
but yeah, it felt good, but also like the gathering's the one time of the year that I go hard. Like most of my days I spend being like an actual like participant in my community. You know what I'm saying? I work with children. I fucking
right.
have my own kids. So I'm like dad most of the time. And fucking the gatherings when I really just let loose. I
Yeah.
do all of the things that I don't do the whole year. And so performing under those mind states is actually really hard, especially when I take it so seriously.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was hit or miss. That one night where I was rapping in my underwear, high on
I
acid,
was
like,
gonna say I saw the video of you in your underwear, bro.
yeah, that was a groove. That was a whole vibe. I
Hell yeah.
loved that. They let me rock that stage. I did my whole discography. I did my whole fucking discography, and like I don't normally rap over my lyrics, but I did two different stage sets, and then people were like, "Keep going," so I was like, "Fuck it," and I just went to my YouTube.
Pull up the YouTube playlist, bro. Yep.
Yeah,
Hell
and
yeah.
so I did my whole fucking discography, and like, yeah, that felt great, and I was high on acid, so it really only felt like 30 minutes, but it was like 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
and fucking then yeah, before I knew it, I was rapping to no one. Everyone had like wandered off, and I looked at the DJ, and he was kind of nodding out, and I was like, "All right, it's fun, man." And I put the shit down, and I wandered off.
Pulled my pants up and walked off.
No, I don't wear clothes at the gathering. I mean, I wear underwear
Yeah.
because I. There are a few dudes who walk around there just like buck ass naked, and honestly, they have no class. It's the only thing that I can think of. Like, it is jarring to just see a cock when you're walking around. You know what I'm saying? Like, naked women, fine, but it's real jarring to just see a fucking sack of meat just fucking hanging out. Um, so I wear underwear, but like other than that, I don't wear any clothes the whole time I'm there.
Yeah. That's
But
so
it's also
funny,
like
man.
at nighttime, it only gets like 70 degrees, and then during the day,
Yeah.
it's like 100.
Yeah.
And so people are like, "Oh man, you're fucking brave for not wearing clothes." I'm like, "Nah, dude, you're brave for fucking wearing clothes. That's crazy."
You're like, it's hot. I'm
I'm like, "Bro,
sweating.
how are you in a jersey right now?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Uh,
But yeah, it's fun. It's weird because like I grew up a juggalo, and I've worked with all but two of the people that I idolized growing up. And so it's really weird that like cuz like the bar for me wasn't set like really high, you know what I'm saying? Like
right.
it reminds me of there's this interview where Seth Rogen, he's like super young, and he's doing like a press for Zach and Miri Make a Porno, and he has this story about when he first blew up. They were like, "Who do you want to work with? You can work with anybody." And he was like, "I want to work with Kevin Smith." And they were like, "That's actually really not that hard."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could do that. You could have done that this whole time.
Yeah.
And like that's really like how my shit is. Like I'm like, oh, I want to work with Twisted. Like I've worked with Twisted. Like, oh, I want to work with Boondocks. Like I have a song with Boondocks. Like all the things, like all the people that I grew up idolizing, I've personally worked with. And
Yeah.
so it's a really good feeling to be able to accomplish childhood dreams, and I hope my kids have more grounded realities like that.
That's awesome. Who would be your dream collaboration that you haven't made happen yet?
I mean, if we're talking anyone, I want to work with Kenny Beats so bad. Do you know who Kenny Beats is?
I don't think so.
He makes beats. No, if in the beginning of his beats, you'll hear a "Whoa, Kenny." He did
Okay.
beats. I know he did a beat on DaBaby's Kirk album. That's the only DaBaby album that I like. But he also has this album with Denzel Curry called Unlocked, and genuinely, in my opinion, it's the best album of 2021. But yeah, this dude's just like a fucking wizard in the studio. He can make like a fucking perfect beat in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking crazy. And so, and like he's worked with a lot of rappers where like I don't personally like those people's music, but when they work with Kenny, it's really good.
Okay. Hell
Um,
yeah. Hell
but
yeah.
when it comes to like rappers or singers or anything like that, like Chance the Rapper would be a dream. I would love to do like a yin yang kind of thing where he comes like heavy in with his Jesus stuff, and then I come in heavy with like more like dark wicked stuff,
Yeah.
and then like the hook meets in the middle.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, Chance the Rapper's up there. I'd love to work with Eminem. I'm a fucking juggalo, but dude, I'd fucking love to work with Eminem. What are we even talking about?
Yeah.
Or even fuck working with him. I would love just for him to see my rhyme schemes, just to like hand him a paper and be like, look at this fucking scheme I fucking cooked up, dog.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking fucking 4 different fucking rhyme
Yeah.
schemes in one sentence or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the entendres. That would be dope. But yeah, I don't know. I don't often listen to music and be like, God, I wish I could work with this person. I normally
Yeah.
just take in whatever I'm listening to. Yeah, fucking. Although something like Tenacious D would be sick. Fucking Sick One said that in his My Team interview, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, I would love to work with Tenacious D."
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Shout out to Sick One.
Yeah, shout out to Sick One.
And shout out to Tenacious D, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, depending on how you feel politically at the moment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a different podcast. John Bell in the chat says Ree.
John's the homie. He's been
Hell
bumping my music for years now.
Let's go. Shout out to John in the chat.
Fucking. There's this rapper. Her name's No Name. She's one
Okay.
of my favorites. She started as a slam poet in Chicago. She doesn't have much music, but she does have a lot of music. I'd fucking love to work with her too.
Hell yeah. I like slam poetry.
I'm fucking big into poetry.
Yeah, dude. That's cool shit. So what I ask every guest this. I advocate for mental health. What does Doughpey advocate for?
Freedom mostly. As long as you're not hurting other people, I believe that you should feel free to be yourself. And if you're in a life where you don't feel free to be yourself, then you've trapped yourself in some weird sort of prison, and you got to figure out how to get out of that. And then once you can, and you can be yourself, the mental health stuff will just kind of uh I don't want to say like fix itself, but it kind of like rises to the top because it's all that you'll have left, and it becomes a lot easier to dissect and work on. So if anybody is struggling, I think that the first step really is to figure out what makes you happy and kind of build your life around that. And then from there, the people who are meant to love you will sort of kind of just fall in. And that's not to say that uh, love should be effortless. It really shouldn't. It's just saying that like you shouldn't have to go too far out of your way to find it.
Right. That's super dope. I love that. John Bell says, I run the dopest shit. Yes, sir. So I love that message. I think you hit it right on the head that you can't help others, you can't be there for others, you can't openly be part of, I mean, even society in a constructive way if you don't have your own shit together, and if you don't have control of yourself, if you're not aware of who you are. And so yeah, totally agree with that.
Unless, of course, that's your jam, in which case find a setting in which it's okay to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
if you don't want to have your shit together, that's totally chill. But you have to make sure that you've created a safe space to do that, in which that you're not taking like resources from those that you love in order to do that, because then you're hurting, and that breaks the whole freedom premise that I have. And so it is a fine line, and it's something that people should be aware of. But I do think that you can be happy doing nothing as long as you've constructed a life that supports that.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the most important things I think that people need to be aware of, is just like your effect on other people, like the choices that you make in life, and the like it affects, I mean, everyone's their own main character, everyone's the hero in their own story, but like, man, we're all living in this world together, and we're all sharing communities and sharing resources and stuff. And so like, yeah, take care of yourself. If you don't want to take care of yourself, then don't have your shit together, but make sure that you're not a burden to, not even a burden, but just, yeah, I mean, you said it. What do you have? Do you have any big announcements or anything, like projects you're working on? Anything coming up that you're excited about?
I'm current.
music wise?
I'm currently wrapping up an album called Shutter, which is a more serious album. Of course, you'll still get like it's dopey, so there's some silly shit woven in, but it's really a more serious kind of introspective album.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm pretty excited for that. I'm currently working on a song. It's I think I'm just gonna call it Hallelujah, but it's a hip hop it's a hallelujah to hip hop. Um, and because like I grew up again like listening to fucking like hip hop, and it
Yeah.
really did saved my life 100%. There's moments where like shit was just like everything around me was evil, and I could just fucking zone out in the words, and like not only could I zone out, but the people who were rapping were experiencing the same kind of evil that I was surrounded by. Um, and so I'm working on that right now, but it's really hard. Like I'm having troubles. I've got the first verse kind of mapped or pretty mapped out, but I'm in the second verse and I'm trying to figure out exactly how to word like okay, because you got hallelujah, which is kind of like a God thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the content of hip hop that saved me specifically is really dark and evil. It's really kind of like tracks like Big L's The Devil's Son and things like that that like helped me a lot. And so like I'm trying to find a way to express that if there is a God, it would make dark content for people who are in dark moments. And so that dark
Mm.
content doesn't necessarily make it dark. It's actually a product of a lighter thing that's woven its way down into the cracks of like the darkest spots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't rhyme and it's too stretched out, but that's really what I'm focusing on right now is that one song.
That's a dope concept. I like that. John Bell says, please tell me you're doing a show in I believe MN is Minnesota.
I'm not, but I am cheap to book if you pay
It may
for
not be Minnesota. Is it Minnesota or is it Montana? What's Montana? Montana's MA, right?
an MO. I don't fucking know, dude.
MO might be Montana. I don't know.
Missouri.
There's so many. There's like 9 states with M. Okay, so and I don't live in one of them, so I don't.
But I'm easy to book. Pay
Hell
for
yeah,
my travel. Give me a place to stay. I'll do your fucking show.
hell
Even
yeah.
if the show's in your fucking backyard with your homies, I don't give a fuck.
You wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
What? Tell me about your book.
Fuck.
Minnesota. He said Minnesota. Cool, I got it right.
It's really hard to because the book is so intricate. It involves a time loop, and so it's hard to dive into the details without having spoilers.
Okay.
But it's about this girl who's a witch, and she falls in love with her best friend. And when they first met, she uses magic to kind of help this girl uh, cope with some feelings that she's having. That ends up backfiring on her like way down the road. And so they break up and she tries to use magic to fix it, which fucks everything up even more. And so
Mm,
this girl like keeps like fucking shit up, and then I don't know, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it
no.
gets dark. It's so tough to explain, but I haven't had a single person read it and not like absolutely enjoy it.
What's it
Um,
called?
it's called Figurines. It's on
Okay.
Amazon, but also if you hit me up on fucking Facebook or Instagram, I'll send it to you. I don't really give a shit about making money off of it. That's not really why I wrote it. Um,
You have physical copies?
I don't have physical copies yet. I'm waiting. I'm currently saving up money so that I can get a house
Okay.
or move, but I really want to get a house.
Yeah.
And so that's like my focus right now. I'm not really buying anything frivolous at the moment. Um, but yeah, fucking once I have hard copies, I'll probably sell those. I'll be selling those to people too.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It's got fucking if I was going to explain it, I would explain it as like a romance horror mystery comedy
Okay. A romance horror mystery comedy.
with time travel and demons. I studied ancient Akkadian witchcraft to write this book. Like, I for real studied ancient Akkadian witchcraft. The spells in the book are based off of real spells. The demon in the book is based off of an actual ritual that fucking ancient priests used to get rid of witches. Like, I studied molecular science so that this character Gary can invent this stuff called negative peanut butter squared, which essentially makes him like immortal. Like, I legit put in so much time and research into building the world that is in this book, and I'm gonna make sequels and prequels and all kinds of shit. But yeah, there's like every little question is answered, and every little detail is based off of real life science and rituals and things like that.
That's awesome. You guys should go check his book out. Figurines. It's on Amazon.
Yep, Dopey Dopeness is the author.
Hell yeah. Let's see here, man. I think do you have anything else that you want to leave the people?
I don't know. Life's fucking hard, and that's all I really got so far. That's the one thing that I know is that like life's fucking hard. So make sure that your people go fucking hard for you, because shit's way too fucking tough to do alone. For fucking sure. Yeah. I don't know, man.
You've given us a lot.
Yeah,
For
we
sure.
got to do another one of these, because I got gallons of fucking trauma. Like, we didn't even crack into how I grew up homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
that's a
would
fucking thing.
I would absolutely love to have you back on. Yeah, that would be awesome.
'Cause that's really how I got into drug dealing and drugs, was that like no dad living in homeless shelters trying to find like an adult male role model. Holy fuck, does that get dark and weird, dude.
Well, we're gonna have to get you scheduled again to come on for sure. Because I mean everything that you talked about was super interesting. And I'm sure that people are gonna take a lot out of this for sure. I appreciate your vulnerability, man. I appreciate your honesty and coming on and sharing with us. Where can people find your music and stuff?
I am on all streaming platforms. Just search Doughpey, Doughpey. You can put it in your reels. You can put it in your TikToks. I am waiting for the TikTok thing to blow up on me, though, because TikTok has restrictions, and you can currently go in there and type in Doughpey, Shake It Up. And the hook for that song is, "Hey, bitch, if I fart in your pussy, will you shake it up and share it with the homies?" And like, there's no way that's going to stay on TikTok if people start using it. So let's do that. Let's see where that goes. Let's be little scientists and just like figure out what happens when we play Dopey Shake It Up on TikTok too much.
Okay, so when I share the clips of you, on TikTok, I will put that song on it for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
There we go. All right, man. Well, you know what, dude? It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you coming on. I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I will hit you up about getting you back on here again.
Hell yeah.
Because I think the people need to hear more of what you got.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you.
Whoop whoop.
Have a good one, bro. We'll talk
You
to you.
too.
All right,
Later.
man. Later. All right. That was an excellent conversation. I can't wait to have him on again. I mean, shit, we could have kept talking. We could have kept talking now, but I feel like at this point, if he's got that much more to say, another episode will be more fitting, you know. So we were supposed to be on at 2 today, and then I had a bunch of shit. I ended up having to do a wedding and other things and this and that, and so we had to postpone the show. So yeah, it was a later start. Thank you all for being here. Let's see our next episode. I have a guest scheduled Thursday the 9th. And then we are gonna try to get somebody on here Tuesday. And then we have so many more people coming on. So Thursday this week for sure, 6 p.m. That's the 9th. I hope you guys can tune into that. And then Saturday the 11th at 2 p.m. also. If you guys need tickets to any of my upcoming shows, hit me up. I have Dizzy Wright coming up the 24th. I have Pint and Stevie Stone coming up November 1st. That is a birthday bash, Project Pint show, Stevie Stone show, costume party, contest show, at the Tiki Lounge in Salem. It's gonna be a monster of a show. That shit's gonna sell out. We're gonna be in there like sardines. It's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be so many people. So make sure you guys get your tickets for that. Hit me up. I got tickets. Don't hit up the other artists. Hit me up for the tickets. Okay. No, I'm just playing. I don't give a shit who you hit up. I don't care who you guys get tickets from. Just come to those shows. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. He had a lot of interesting stories. I appreciate everyone's honesty when they come on here and their vulnerability and their just willingness to share. It's not always that you get to ask some of the questions that I ask people. And so I don't generally tell people what I'm going to ask them ahead of time either. I mean, we may talk about certain things, but you know, for the most part, it's pretty candid. And so 17 Bowls, whoop whoop, hell yeah. If you guys have not checked out 17 Bowls on YouTube, that's Doughpey's podcast. Go check that out. I was recently on there, so go watch that one. We talked about some crazy shit. I know, dude. I forgot to. I thought about it. I thought about asking you about the podcast, and then you were talking, and my ADHD, I forget like 9,000 things a day that I want to say. So that was just one of those things that I forgot to fucking. But yeah, make sure you guys, if you're still hanging with us now, go over. You could probably even click on the comment there and just go to 17 Bulls and hit the sub button. Check them out for sure. That's Doughpey's podcast. A lot of crazy shit goes on over there. We talked about some wild stuff on the episode that I was on. So make sure you guys show them some love. We were supposed to have Pete versus Anxiety, the host Pete from Pete versus Anxiety, the podcast on. We did not end up rescheduling that yet. I mentioned on here that I was trying to reschedule that. I'm still working on that. There's a couple that I have to reschedule still. But you know what? I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. You guys are amazing. And we just keep getting more and more of a community put together over here. And it's really turning into something awesome. Make sure that you guys send your viewer and listener questions into upleftpod@gmail.com. If we get enough of those, I may do an episode on viewer questions, like a mailbag episode or something. So, yeah, upleftpod@gmail.com. Send in your stories, send in your questions, send in your comments about the show, your feedback about the show. If you liked something, if you didn't like something, if you like it when I do this or when I don't do that, or, you know, just whatever you guys are feeling. That's an open line over there. So, send in that stuff. upleftpod@gmail.com. Check us out on all of our socials, TikTok, Instagram, UpLeftPod, on all of that stuff. If this episode resonated with you at all, please share it with a friend. Everyone needs to hear something. We just might be the place to say it. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more episodes. And remember, it's okay to not be okay. Tell somebody you love them. We'll see you guys next time.
But before I lay me down, let's get this off my chest first. Excerpt of my life, I call it my next verse. I'm stressed, keep it in perspective, I'm an expert.